Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi. I'm Nick, and I'd like to bring up my co-host, Jill. Come on up here, Jill.
Why don't you call me Jack?
Jackie would probably be more appropriate.
What's this? I thought I told you to wear something spooky.
Spooky? I thought she said kooky, so I dressed like a game show host.
Whatever, let's just start the show. First, let's thank our sponsors at Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything.
And let's go right into our movie segment and see what Mark has scared up for us.
What is this? I thought I told you.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to my little game. To survive it, you must make a choice of what movie to watch this weekend first, and your odds will only improve if you see my little opus, Jigsaw.
Any identification on the victim?
Here's a piece, but Jigsaw has been dead for 10 years.
It's not him. Can't be.
This was on the body. The truth will set you free.
The blood under the fingernails of our victim, it's John Kramer's, the Jigsaw killer.
That's impossible.
And this is the 8th movie in the Saw saga, and not even the police can do anything about it.
No, it's not creepy at all.
Also coming out is the George Clooney-directed Suburbicon, about a peaceful little community with a dark underbelly of deceit and violence. The film stars Matt Damon, Julianne Moore, and Oscar Isaac. This sounds like a town I need to visit. Those of you who are fortunate to survive my little trap will be able to watch the new X-Men spin-off film, New Mutants, which comes out next year.
What is this place?
This isn't a hospital. It's a haunted house.
You are all out of time. I hope you chose wisely. I chose to go on a date with my girlfriend, Annabelle. Oh, Annabelle! Come here, you little doll.
Well, thank you, Mark. And next time, wear a costume.
Well, now we're going to take it over to Q and a collector who has a replica of the scariest car to roll off an assembly line.
I was about 12 years old, and I snuck in to see the movie in 1983 through the back door. The movie I wasn't so crazy about, but the cars I fell in love with, both this and the Charger, but this being the number one. And I always said, coming from having no money, we didn't even own a car in my family at the time. I said, when I get older, I'm gonna get one of those. Well, it took me till I turned 40 years old to start to find, the car and the pieces and everything. And luckily, this car is made of 3 of the original cars from the movie. And I had to just find a donor body, and then we rebuilt everything to show quality, making this one car here. So it's not an actual screen use car per se, but it's got the Christine blood from the movie of having all the 90% of the parts on it are from the cars in the movie.
Well, let's hope it don't have too much of Christine's blood in it. You got a lot of autographs from the cast, you were telling me earlier. How many of the cast members do you have?
There's six so far, including the director, which is John Carpenter. I am missing, a couple of key players and Keith Gordon, but the car was on last year, for the end of last year, so I'm hoping to get the car out to California.
Oh, sweet. So does it run? I mean,
It runs. Oh, yeah. It has all the tricks. It smokes when she gets upset. But this car is a nut and bolt frame-off restoration. It took me 3 years. It is pretty on the bottom as it is on the top. I didn't just want to slap a paint job on it and go. I wanted to, do everything the right way. It's,
This has been the Q from Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
Thanks, Q. That's my kind of car.
Indeed. And the director of Christine, John Carpenter, actually composed much of the music for his films, and he's got a new album out featuring all of his most famous film themes. Here's a little clip from the theme of Christine.
Now we're going to go to Shannon at Nektar Meadery, where she got to sample a different kind of spirit.
This segment is sponsored by Bagger Dave's, a proud supporter of local craft beer. Stop in today for the best damn burger and beer.
Earlier this year, I was lucky enough to get a tour of Bee Nektar in Ferndale, Michigan. Founded in 2006, Bee Nektar has quickly become America's largest meadery and the first to be added to RateBeer.com's top 100 best breweries. Bee Nektar is also known for their movie, TV, and music-inspired meads, ciders, and beers, many of which are horror-themed, so I wanted to sample some to get into the Halloween spirit.
We normally are drinking beer on this show. Today, we're drinking some mead. You're gonna have to talk me through kind of some of the flavors that I should be looking for, beer versus mead.
All right, we can do that.
What are we doing first?
So Necro Mango Con, when you first start out, you're gonna get a lot of that mango on the front. So you're gonna get that mango, then at the end, hold on for a second, you'll get that little bit of black pepper that kind of feeds in. And then you're gonna try to chase that dragon a little bit and go back for that mango.
Wow, it does. That pepper came out of nowhere. I was waiting for it. I was like, I don't think he's crazy. That pepper's not in here. And then all of a sudden, it came out of nowhere and popped in. That was nuts.
Some of their favorites include Stupid Man Suit, which is inspired by the spooky sci-fi cult film Donnie Darko. This dark fruit hard cider is made with cherry, raspberry, and black currant. Another delicious hard cider is Death Unicorn, which pays homage to the death metal music genre. The Bee Nektar team also honored Nosferatu, the first vampire movie ever made, with their mead, Black Fang. Just make sure to keep this intoxicating blend of blackberry, clove, and orange zest away from the sunlight. Finally, I just had to end my visit with some of Bee Nektar's signature beverage.
This is the zombie killer. This is what keeps the lights on at Bee Nektar. So that's all fresh apple cider. It's cherries and honey.
This is actually much drier than I expected. I expected a lot more sweetness to it, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, when we pick the names, like we want to pick something that, like, if you see it on a menu, you're gonna be like, what? I think the first name that got vetoed was like the sound a zombie makes. Yes, everyone else looked at the guy like, really? Like, what is this?
You can find all of these drinks at the Bee Nektar Tap Room in Ferndale, and their website has a full list of retailers in your area.
Thanks, Shannon. Those will get you dead drunk.
Oh, yes, they will. And it's time for our first commercial break. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for some exclusive content.
We'll be right back.
Out of all the burger and beer joints, you walk into this one. Good call. Because now you're face to face with the best burger you'll ever have. Handcrafted, locally sourced, and grilled to perfection. Bagger Dave's. Locals wanted.
Hello, my lady. I ordered 2 large Howie Mauis with butter cheese crust.
Wow, you are one serious breast cancer awareness supporter.
Warrior for love, hope, and pizza. Can't seem to reach my wallet.
Flavor fanatics love us because for every pizza purchased in October, we make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation.
Hungry?
Howie's! I want a career in robotics and automation, so I chose Lawrence Tech for its first in Michigan robotics engineering program. LTU's brand new STEM complex has a robotics lab where we can design, build, and program robots in a creative atmosphere. And the best thing is, I haven't graduated yet, but I already have a job in my field. I know I made the right choice for my career. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
Welcome back, my groovy ghoulies.
And now it's time for Joe Johnson and Jason Douglas from The Walking Dead.
All right, I'm here with Jason Douglas, Tobin on The Walking Dead. Pleasure to meet you. Great to see you.
Thanks.
You having fun here at Motor City Comic Con?
It's really great. You know, the best part about it are the fans. They're so supportive and they love the work. And so it's great to get to interact with them.
Take me back to the day when you got the job on The Walking Dead. Did you audition? How did that happen? And were you aware of the phenomenon that it was at the time?
Yeah, you know, I knew that it was a highly rated show. I had actually auditioned for a couple of different roles. So I think I auditioned for the role of Merle. I think I auditioned for a character called Otis.
Made the impression.
I made the impression, I guess, because then I found out, oh, and they're going to change the name of the character for some reason. They're going to call him Tobin. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then, of course, I found out Tobin is a character from the comic book. So,
in a nutshell, what's the experience been like being on that set with those iconic characters?
The people are great. The crew have mostly been there from season 1, and the cast is terrific, and everybody's just very happy to be there. It's kind of an intense show, obviously, and it's an intense shooting day, always. So we kind of try to prop each other up as much as possible.
Your character had a romantic fling with Carol.
Sure.
Any jealousy? Any fans coming up expressing any jealousy?
Not so much jealousy. There are some folks that weren't happy with that pairing, and I get that. But there are a lot of fans who liked it because they're a couple of characters that have been through life and have seen some darkness, and so they kind of made a match that may not be permanent, but it's just one that was right for the time. So.
Good luck to you. Thank you very much. Pleasure meeting you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Joe Johnson, Motor City Comic Con.
Thank you, Joe and Jason. And now, of course, it wouldn't be Halloween at all without the return of everyone's favorite zombie show, The Walking Dead. Take a look at a clip.
Careful.
This will be fun.
No, it isn't.
It's better than letting things be, though.
And also coming back, Season 2 of Stranger Things.
You still have that bat?
Bat? What bat?
One with the nails.
And also just in time for Halloween, a brand new show called Lore, based on a podcast that covers the paranormal.
I know exactly what you are! Be gone from this house!
My name's Dean Winchester. That's my brother Sam. We kill monsters.
Monsters.
You ever seen a horror movie?
So what are you, some kind of superhero?
Well, those shows will definitely get you into the Halloween mood.
And speaking of Halloween, Nick, you know I love cosplay. Now we're gonna go over to Q, who had a chance to interview the world's most famous slasher.
This is the Q from Comics Being Sci-Fi. We're here at the Motor City Comic Con. I'm here with the serial killer himself, Jason. So you got a new game coming out. Tell me about it. They canceled your movie that they were going to remake. So how does that make you feel? I'm really not getting anywhere with this one, and he's starting to scare me. I'm here with Joe, and he's dressed as Jason from Friday the 13th. What inspired you to dress up as Jason today?
It's just a classic. That's my go-to costume. I scare the kids on Halloween handing out candy. Some of them won't even come to the door, but he's just classic serial killer.
Nice, nice. So thanks again for this interview, and don't kill anybody on the way out the door, okay? This has been the Q from Comics Being Sci-Fi.
I love the strong, silent type.
On that note, it's time for a commercial break. We'll be right back.
From the dead.
I want to be a dermatologist, and though a lot of universities tried to recruit me for basketball, Lawrence Tech had the science curriculum that I wanted. LTU's Southfield campus is a great place to learn, and the classes are small enough that I don't have to wait for office hours to talk to my professors. They're usually right by my side, challenging me and guiding me toward a successful future. Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
I'm here today at Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school in Southfield, to see how they're training their students for the growing demand in the heating and cooling industry.
With our years of experience and literally thousands of successful graduates, Northwestern Tech has been debunking this myth that you need a 4-year degree to have a great career. Our HVAC program was designed to give our students the hands-on skills to be working in the field in only 10.5 months.
This is Heather Park reporting from Southfield that Northwestern Tech really is the HVAC school that works.
We don't frost brew our beer, and hot chicks won't appear if you drink it. Our beer doesn't come in a bow tie shaped can or need color indicators to tell you it's cold. It won't be delivered by Clydesdale horses, and to tell you the truth, we aren't the most interesting people in the world. Fact of the matter is, we don't tell stories. We just let our beer do the talking.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. And I hear we have another dose of Q.
Indeed. Well, Q had to raise the stakes on his interviewing skills when he met up with the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
This is the Q from Comics Being Sci-Fi. I'm here at the Motor City Comic Con with the original Buffy, Kristy Swanson. How's it going today?
I'm good. I'm very good. How about you?
Doing all right. So tell me, what did you like most about coming to the Comic Cons?
Well, I like meeting the fans. You know, it's a lot of fun. Everybody's really nice.
Cool. So tell me about Wes Craven, because you got a chance to work with him. Is he scary in real life, or is it really nice guy?
Wes Craven, I always get emotional when somebody asks me about Wes, because he was, you know, my first director on a studio picture, and I was 16 years old and, you know, carrying the movie, and, you know, he was... he's just so lovely, you know, like he took me under his wing and he took care of me and he looked after me, and he, you know, he was just amazing to work with, and I was very sad when he passed. It, you know, heartbreaking, and he's very, very missed. And so, yeah, I went to his memorial, and I sat there and cried the entire time. So I was very sad. But, you know, he left us with great movies, yes. Yes.
So tell me about Buffy. If it's a remake coming down the pipeline, would you be interested in being in it? Or, because we got to have you in it. You are the original Buffy.
Well, there's been rumors flying around about it over the years that there's going to be a remake or a part 2 or something like that. I wouldn't say no, you know. I mean, I'd like to know what it is or hear about it if, you know, there's an opportunity to do that. But, you know, it would be fun to do it again. Why not? I mean, I love Buffy, everything Buffy.
Thanks, Q. You really slayed that one.
Yes, he did. And why does Q get to hang out with all the hotties?
Hey, I really got a bone to pick with you.
Oh,
Well, we're going to go to Samantha with the video games.
Hey gamers, this is Samantha with Comics Beer and Sci-Fi, bringing you your weekly dose of gaming knowledge. This segment is brought to you by Lawrence Technological University. Are you ready to see some of the new spooky games for this Halloween? First up is The Evil Within 2, which is a survival horror game released on October 13th by Bethesda. You play as Sebastian Castellanos, who has lost everything, including his daughter Lily. To save her, he is forced to partner with Mobius, the shadowy group responsible for the destruction of his former life. There has been a couple upgrades to this game, including the map size, and now you are provided with multiple ways to advance in each level. It also features a crafting system in which players can gather resources to craft new items such as ammo. Next is Resident Evil Biohazard. You can't go wrong with picking up any of the Resident Evil video games. These grim and gory storylines will definitely give you chills as you are stalked through a decrepit Louisiana mansion. Capcom finally listened to their followers and set the storyline back to its roots. Try surviving this game while the crazy Baker family makes your nightmares come to life. I wouldn't recommend playing this game alone. Now, to change it up a bit, we've got Zombie U. This is a Wii U launch title that is an underrated, roguelike, undead apocalypse adventure game, which Ubisoft later updated for PS4 and Xbox One. Once again, London is infested with a great plague and players have to make their way through monster zombies searching for weapons and food. Here's the kicker. Every time you die, you respawn as a different character and have to locate the body of your old self to reclaim your belongings. But of course, they won't stay dead for long. Well, that's it for this week on the Nightmare Games to play this Halloween. I leave the lights on for these ones. Until next week, this has been Samantha on Comics Beer and Sci-Fi. Game on!
Thanks, Samantha. And if you're interested in making games as well as playing them, then you need to check out Lawrence Technological University.
LTU offers 2 great programs, game art and game software development. Check out their website for more information. And now, since Jill has been dying to get out of the studio, she recently caught up with a Tim Burton cosplayer.
Hey, it's Jill here with Comic Experience Sci-Fi at the East Coast Comic Con in New Jersey, where I've bumped into one of the coolest cosplayers I think I've ever seen.
Thank you very much.
So I'm here with Emily.
Cosplaying as Emily from The Corpse Bride.
And her name is Emily, how fitting. So how long did it take you to make your costume?
It took me about a week. I started it last weekend actually, and I just finished it last night.
Wow, so only a week. So do you do other cosplays? You're a pretty experienced cosplayer?
No, this is actually my second con and my first time making my costume, which I'm pretty happy with it. And this is just model magic painted with regular paint.
You have the details down to on your hand and everything. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for letting us.
Well done, Jill. And now it's time for a commercial break. And while you're soaking up our sponsors, don't forget to like us on Facebook and check us out on Twitter and Instagram.
Join the pop side with new Pop Chips Star Wars Galaxy Puffs, the perfect intergalactic treat for the Star Wars lover in all of us. These aged white cheddar Pop Puffs come in a variety of shapes. They're gluten-free, non-GMO, and made with real cheese. Take your snacking into hyperspace. Find all of Pop Chips' great flavors in your local Kroger.
I want to blend my business education and athletic skills and open my own fitness center. At Lawrence Tech, I'm learning how to research, present, and to really think like an entrepreneur. And I love the small college feel here, where there's always something to do. We have men's and women's intercollegiate sports and dozens of student organizations. I can't wait to apply what I'm learning here in the real world. Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
When every seat in the house looks like this, there are no bad seats. Pull up a chair and get face-to-face with the best burger you'll ever have. Bagger Dave's, locals wanted.
I'm here today at Northwestern Tech, the HVAC school in Southfield, to see how they're training their students for the growing demand in the heating and cooling industry.
As an industry, we're in serious need of new technicians entering the field. But to work for me, you need to be trained right. That's why at Flame, we insist you go to Northwestern Tech. It's simple. If you want a career in heating and cooling, Northwestern Tech is a place for you. I highly recommend it.
This is Heather Park reporting from Southfield that Northwestern Tech really is the HVAC school that works.
Welcome back, boys and ghouls.
Let's head over to Comic City, where Casey's checking out the new comic books.
Hey, Comic Book Casey coming at you from Comic City, representing Comic Experience Sci-Fi. I'm here once again with my boy Aaron. We are going to talk about the new comic book releases this week. What do you got for me?
First off, we got Jughead the Hunger #1. It's about Jughead being a werewolf, and it's a darker side of an Archie comic.
Say it ain't so, man. Jughead was always the goofball, kind of always eating burgers or hot dogs. I thought it would have been Reggie.
Jughead's going to be attacks Reggie, and Betty Cooper, Werewolf Hunter, and Archie are on the case.
And, you know, it kind of went a little bit darker on us now, Aaron. I wonder why.
Well, Riverdale's out there on the CW. They've been kind of taking the Archie comics in a darker direction as well.
All right, Aaron, so what else we have this week?
Next, we have Black Panther #166. It's a story of Black Panther fighting his greatest enemy, the Claw. The Claw is the man responsible for killing his father, the king.
Both created in 1966, and what's the coincidence here that this is book number 166? Jack Kirby and Stan Lee were so innovative in combining superhero characters with things that were going on in that day and age and the circumstances at hand. 1966 was also the beginning of the Black Panther Party.
Also, Stan Lee was going to change the name of Black Panther.
What was he going to change it to?
Black Cougar. Just didn't have the same roll off the tongue.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same impact.
Man, Casey, what's up with that mask?
As you know, I'm Gotham City's greatest detective, and I know that you're about to talk about Batman.
I must be talking about Batman the Merciless #1.
Yes, Commissioner.
It's the story of Batman of Negative Earth 12. He defeats Ares and becomes the God of War.
Yes.
And then joins the other Dark Knights to conquer the DC Universe.
So that makes me, Batman, the new God of War.
Yeah.
Not Q, but Batman.
I guess that's true.
Hey, this is Mark at the Monroe Comic Con, here with Eugene Clark. You may know him as Big Daddy from Land of the Dead. So we saw that Dan Phillips applied this cool looking makeup on you. Yeah. How many times did you have this makeup applied to you on the set of Land of the Dead?
I can't remember. I fell asleep. I don't know. Countless times. I just fell asleep.
So how did you end up landing the job on the movie?
Oh, man, you know, I just walked in there and said, give me the job, dang it. Just give me the job. No, George, we had improv type audition process that George put us through.
So what was it like working with the legend, George Romero?
It was great. You know, he was a really great guy. I mean, he's a creative genius. Because of him, look what we got now. Walking Dead, iZombie, this movie, this zombie, everything is zombie because of him.
George passed away just recently.
Yes.
What was going through your mind when you heard of the news?
I saw him maybe 4 weeks prior to that at Ottawa Comic-Con, and we were going to get together at some point. You know, I wanted to take him and his wife to dinner, and that never happened, so that really hurt my heart.
What do you like the most about coming to these cons?
I love the people. This is all about the people. Because without them, there is no Walking Dead, there is no Arrow, there is nothing, because if they don't show up, if they don't watch and love the characters, we don't have this. I love meeting the people. I love seeing the joy in their faces. I try my best to always make sure their experience to me is a great one.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Eugene.
Thank you. Same here. Have a good one.
Thank you. Which one was the zombie?
Now we're gonna go to the home video segment with Richie, who's dead last as usual.
This is Richie Rollins from Cosplayer and Sci-Fi, and we're in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery here in Los Angeles, California. And for our Halloween special, we're going to talk about some movies from George Romero that have been recently released on Blu-ray. Master of Horror George Romero passed away in July, which means we are now getting a slew of new Blu-ray releases just in time for Halloween. On October 3rd, Mill Creek Entertainment put out the new Blu-ray version of Romero's first film, Night of the Living Dead. This 50th anniversary edition is light on the bonus material, but the low price makes this purchase a no-brainer. For the die-hard George Romero fans, there is a new Blu-ray box set called Between Night and Dawn. It includes the movies There's Always Vanilla, Season of the Witch, and The Crazies, which were made after the incredible success of Night of the Living Dead. Of the 3 movies included in the set, The Crazies is the only great one, but all are loaded with tons of bonus material. George Romero made 3 Dead movies in the 2000s: Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, and Land of the Dead. The best of the trio, Land of the Dead, is getting a 2-disc collector's edition Blu-ray from Shout Factory. The movie stars Dennis Hopper, John Leguizamo, and Simon Baker, who live inside the high walls of the fortified city, which is run by an elite class who rules from a luxury skyscraper.
Zombies, man. They creep me out.
Shout Factory is also releasing a 2-disc collector's edition Blu-ray of Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake, which is hands down the best of the Dead series remakes. Some horror fans even think that Snyder's version is better than the original. They're wrong, but it's high praise nonetheless.
I told you to get back.
We can't think of any better way to celebrate Halloween than watching some of these horror classics. Rest in peace, George. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a spooky Halloween.
Well done, Richie. And we reached the end of another episode of Cosplayer and Sci-Fi. We want to thank our sponsor, Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything.
And make sure you stay tuned in next week for our most marvelous episode ever.
Excelsior.